Has any one of you heard the name Sadhu Sundar Singh? No? Okay. Sundar Singh was born in India in the late 1800s. And he grew up in a family that does not believe in God. But one day, he learned about God, he learned about Christianity, and he decided to accept Jesus in his life. And this made his father so angry because they don't believe in God, and it's not allowed in their family. So his father threw him out of the house and disowned him. And not only that, his brother tried to poison him. Luckily for Sundar Singh, he was able to go to that Christian community who saved his life and helped him. After that incident, he decided to be a missionary, and he went all over the places in India and preaching God. One day, he went to this town where it's not allowed to preach about God at all. And the chief of that town heard about him, and he was arrested, and he was presented to the chief. There was a trial, and he was found guilty. And you know what the punishment is? He will be thrown into a deep, dark well. Deep, dark, dry well, which is covered with a heavy metal on top of it and locked with a big lock. He was dragged and he was stripped of his clothes, and they threw him in that well. And it was so violent that his right arm was injured. It was so dark inside, he couldn't feel anything, but he could smell a rotten flesh. A very bad odor. He couldn't stand it, so he put his hands around him, and what he could feel is dead bodies, rotting flesh or dead bodies. All of the prisoners that has been thrown in that deep, dry well were never able to come out of it, and they'd all died in that well. When he was there, he cried to God and said, "Why hast thou forsaken me?" But he kept his faith in Jesus. He stayed there for 3 days and 3 nights. Oftentimes he was unconscious because of no food or water at all. On the 3rd night, he was wide awake when he heard that the lock on that well was turned and it was opened. And he looked up and he saw stars, and he could make a form of a man who put down a rope and told him to grab that rope. And he grabbed the rope, and the man pulled him out of that deep, dark well. When he was on the ground, he turned to see who his rescuer was, but nobody was there. Do you know who rescued him? He couldn't find anybody, but his injured arm was no longer painful. It was healed, and he couldn't find nobody in that place. So when that morning came, he went back to the town where he was arrested, and he started preaching again. When the chief heard about it, he was so mad, and he ordered Sundar Singh to be arrested once again. He was presented to the chief, and the chief asked him, "Who set you free?" And Sundar Singh said, "I don't know." And he told the chief his story of how he was saved from that deep, dark hole. And the chief was so mad, he thought maybe somebody stole the key. And he took the key hanging on his belt, and he raised it to check that the key was there, and the key was there. He was speechless, he was amazed. And he turned to Sundar Singh and said, "Your God is powerful. Your God is so great. Go away, lest harm will come to me and my people." And that is how Sundar Singh was released. He was set free because God came to his rescue, because of the powerful God that he served. Now there's a verse in the Bible that says, "He lifted me out of the slimy pit." Like Sundar Singh, I want you to think that this dark bottle here is the world where we are in. And this rope is us. Like Sundar Singh, we were trapped in that dark world. When you say dark, what comes into your mind? Night. What else? Fear. Yes. Danger. sickness, death, probably. That's the world where we are in. It's sinful and we are trapped in there. Like sometimes saying, we want to get out of it. We want to get out of it, but can we do it by ourselves? If we don't have Jesus in our lives, you think we can do it? I want you to try to tug the rope. You think you can get out of it? Can you try? No, we are trapped. We cannot get out of it by our own strength. But if we keep God in our lives, if we have faith in Him, He promised us someday He will come again and rescue us from this dark world where we are in, and He will bring us back to heaven with Him. That's our story for today.
Amen.